Hi everybody, my name is Bookie and I'm here with the Good Eve channel, and today I'm going to be discussing with you 6 different streams of income that can build your wealth. Now, the essence of this video is just to gain more knowledge about the different types and forms of income that you can benefit from. So why should you watch this? Well, for the first thing is, a lot of times, most of us are overly focused on one or two major types of these incomes. And I want us to expand our minds to realize that there's so many different forms of income that we can earn. And if we just put in a little bit of effort, a little bit of work, we can benefit from almost all of these streams. So why should you listen? Well, so that you can get the information to get started for yourself, or to help someone who needs this help. Now, before we get started, I'm going to ask you to give me a thumbs up, a like for this video, because I already can promise you, you're going to love it. And since I'm giving you 5, did I say 5 or 6? All right, I'm going to make it 6. Since I'm giving you 6 types of income that you can benefit from, I want you to share this video with 6 people so that they also can get the opportunity to subscribe and like and also comment on my videos before. Look, I'd love to hear from you. Please comment below what you think about these incomes. How many have you been benefiting from? We'd love to hear back from you. All right, so we're ready to get started talking about the 6 different types of income that you can use to build your wealth. The first one I'm going to talk about is rental income. And everybody seems to know about rental income. Why? Because you've either paid rent or know someone who's paying rent. So rental income is, and it's not just, but most of us know about rental income because of real estate, accommodation. But do you know there are other types of rental income? You can rent a car, you can rent a bus, you could offer a book or a book renting service. Back in the days, there was video renting services, equipment for people who do a lot of recording. You can rent that type of equipment as well. There's so many forms of rental income you can participate. So do you happen to have a lot of things lying around? For instance, do you really love putting together beautiful birthday parties for your children? Have you piled up equipment? You bought toys, you bought bouncing castles, you bought teepees, you've imported all these things because you wanted to do something unique and lovely. And after you're done, you've looked and you have so many things stored up in your home. Guess what? You can use those things and earn a good rental income. So that's another one. The second point is earned income. And by earned income, there's so many different types. So for instance, if you work in a job and you get a salary, that is earned income. If you run a business and you make a sale, what you earn from the sale is earned income. So this one, most of us are familiar with it because almost everybody, unless you are a privileged princess who's never worked a day in your life, have had to earn income. So earned income is another stream, and we're familiar with, like I said, this one I'm sure most people are aware of and have benefited or interacted with. All right, let's go on to point 3, interest income. Now with interest income, this is like the income you earn from giving a loan or buying bonds. They pay you a fixed interest return once a year or twice a year on the money that you've loaned. Simple, straightforward, delicious potentially. So usually interest is not as much because you're not risking as much depending, but there's some high risk loans which actually pay really good interest. You can also earn this kind of money from saving accounts, even though the returns are ridiculously sad. But interest is also a form of income that you definitely want to be benefiting from. And look, I believe if you have money, you should never let it rest. Don't let it sleep. So even if you have, let's say you have money you're saving up for rent at the end of the year or to buy a mortgage, put that money, you may not want to put it in a high risk investment that like stocks that fluctuate. But guess what? If you put it in a savings account, if you put it in an interest bearing investment like a short-term bond, you get all your capital back and you get to earn a little bit of interest. 3 months of interest counts, 5 months of interest counts, 1 month of interest counts. Look, if you're leaving money on the table, why not get into the discipline of always putting your money to work? Don't just leave your money in your bank account to just be chilling out, doing nothing. Don't have lazy money. Make your money work hard for you, no matter how much, no matter how long. All right. Fourth type of income you need to be thinking about: capital gains or appreciation. And so with this, it's almost like it's invisible, but it's very sweet. So you buy a home, or you buy a property, or you buy an asset like art. Let's say you buy it for 100 naira. And then 5 years later, you want to sell it. It's worth 10,000 naira. Woo! Isn't that nice? That difference between the 100 that you bought it for and the 10,000 naira that it's worth now is called capital appreciation. So this affects things, different investment assets. It can affect, like I said, art. It can affect stocks, even stocks, individual stocks you buy. If you buy your, let's say, Nestle stock for 100 naira, and 5 years later, it's worth 500 naira. That extra 400 naira is capital appreciation. If you buy, land or anything in real estate, property, even mutual funds, that gap. So those assets may also pay you, for instance, pay you rent. We've talked about rental income. They may pay you dividends, but the asset itself has grown in value. That additional value is what we refer to as capital appreciation. And like I said, it affects properties. You buy a house. Let's say you bought a house for 1,000 naira. You're selling the house now. It's 2,000 naira. That growth and appreciation is also potential income that can come into you. That's really, really nice, especially in the years in which you make these sales. Now, point 5 we're going to talk about is royalty income. Royalty income is, and we've heard about this because there are usually battles about this, right? Marvin Gaye, when he sued, his family sued Ed Sheeran, for instance. So are you a musician? Or do you like writing music? Are you an artist? Do you have a creative side? Are you an author? Do you like writing books? Do you producing articles, producing content? All of these things, videos, training, all of these things are examples of royalty income. When people use your content, they need to pay for it. And there are organizations, guess what, that will license your content from you and make sure that you get paid. Royalty income is so great because you produce the art or the book or the content once and you keep getting income from it. Sometimes you get a lot during a season, if it's a seasonally popular content, for instance, or creative piece, or you get income consistently if it's something that's evergreen and people need it all the time consistently. Royalty income is one that everybody can benefit from personally. You just have to find your niche, find your area of expertise and interest, and at that intersection, you begin to produce content. You may produce 100 things and only make money from 3, but the money you make from those 3 will make it the other 97 worth all the effort you put into it. So royalty income is a really good one that everyone can benefit from and you can work towards. Depending on what job you do, you can create manuals. I mean, there's a popular article that's everywhere on the internet right now about a young lady who made $1 million a day, they claim, producing content on TikTok about how to use Excel. And she used hip hop and R&B music in order to make it more interesting and engaging for people to want to learn. So if you like music and you like teaching and you're smart, it's not only for her. You can do yours. You can do one on PowerPoint. Maybe you'll do one on something that has to do with coding. Maybe you'll do something on teaching people how to do stitches. You can come up with different things, how to put in weave on if you're into hair and beauty. It can be used in so many ways. And that's your content, right? And so companies, like they did for her, she made money not from TikTok because companies approached her to now produce training content for their businesses. Now, she is not Nigeria. And one thing we've discovered about producing content that's directed at Nigerians to help them learn and upskill is it needs to be in a Nigerian accent. It needs to use Nigerian references. We don't want to hear Ed Sheeran. We want to hear Nigerian music. We want our Niger cruise music, our Afro beats. That's what we want. So think about it. She's come up with a really good idea. You could apply it. And it could help you. And all of a sudden you're providing content and hey, people are calling you in to do that. So, or people could even just buy your content directly. There are a lot of people who are producing training that people go and buy them for themselves. Independent of training companies, independent of corporate organization. So there's a really good area in royalty income. I can go on and on and on about royalties, but pictures, taking photographs, if you're really good at taking photographs, there's a dearth. There are not enough photographs of beautiful Black families being together, beautiful Black professionals being professionals, beautiful Black, I mean, when we have to go and look for stock images, there are very few. You'll just see one funny guy that has locks. I love locks, but nothing wrong with that. But that's the only picture you have of someone wearing a suit with a briefcase. What we need more variety. We need guys with locks. We need guys without locks. We need dark-skinned brothers. We need fair-skinned. We need brown-skinned. We need all the variety. There's such a dearth of beautiful Black, well-produced photographic content. That's an idea you can just take right there. Start producing that content, put it on Pexels, put it on the different platforms, put it on Jetty. And guess what? Every time they sell an image, you make money. So you begin to do it bit by bit, bit by bit, bit by bit. And before you know it, you're making bank. Sixth and final type of income I want us to think about is dividend income. And this is when you buy stocks, you buy shares, and you're intentional about buying the ones that pay annual or biannual dividends. And so this also happens with stocks, but you know it also happens with private businesses. Yes, that's what happens if you have a private business and you've gathered 10 or more people together. It can be 2 or more. And at the end of the year, when they declare a profit and they've paid their corporate taxes, what's left over, a portion of it can be retained as earnings to help the business in the future. But a portion of it should be paid to you as a shareholder as a dividend. That's the beauty of dividends, and they're so sweet to get. So dividend income is also another form of income that you can key in. If you don't want to come together with 3 or 4 or 5 or whatever number of people to do that, you can just buy stocks. Blue chip stocks are always my recommendation on the stock market. And just wait patiently as your sweet, sweet dividend money starts to come into you. You can choose to reinvest the dividends and buy more shares, or you can decide to spend it, or you can decide to move it into one of these other income classes. Well, thank you for listening today. Which one aren't you doing? Please share it in the comments below. And look, I want to conclude by talking about, oftentimes we say tomorrow I'll buy shares. I'll go and read up on it. Tomorrow I will go and work on something that I can, license and make some of that royalty income. That's true. I like to draw. I like to make beats. There are even people making a lot of money with beats. People buy those. Tomorrow, there's always tomorrow. But you know what? Tomorrow never comes. Why don't you start something today? Make a commitment, follow through, take the steps, and start it today. The sooner you get started on the journey, the sooner you can get to success. Well, as I always say, please stay humble and learn. Bye for now.